moment we've all been waiting for. My name's Pete Anderson. I'm here with my good friend, Brett Sanford. Brett, say hello.
Hello, Peter.
And to the people out there.
Hello, everybody.
We're here on the Avila side of Saint-Sauveur in Quebec for the 14th edition of the Shakedown presented by Videotron Mobile. We've been here all day. The action has been outrageous, but it all comes down to this. The grand final, Brett. We've got 10 riders, and they've got to prove their worth in 4 judged runs over the next 90 minutes. Those 10 riders are Craig Govelos, Casey Patenaude, Kim Rune Hansen, Mark Hoyt, Michael Gregoire, Michael Ciccarelli, Christopher Collard, Marc-André Tremblay, Maxence Parrot, and Sebastien Toutant. Brett, what were some of the highlights from the semifinals for you today?
For me, the top 3 riders to watch were Mikey Ciccarelli, Maxence Parrot, and Sebastien Toutant. And I think that single one of those riders can end up at the top of the podium today, Pete.
Definitely. I'm with you on that. And so how is this going to roll out this year, Brett?
Well, Pete, we get a 90-minute jam session here for the finals. Each of the riders get 4 judged runs, which they call personally. They take the top 2 combined scores, and that's going to crown our 2015 Shakedown champion. And the thing that's great is the riders need to call their trick on the jump. And once they've called a trick, they can't call it again. And so that means they get 4 judged runs, so we're going to see each of our riders attempt 4 different tricks off the jump. It's a 50-50 score breakdown, so half of your score comes from the jump, the other half comes from the rail setup down below. Now, we've already had the Coors Light Rail Jam earlier in today. We've had some of these riders take part, some haven't. So we're going to see some riders that are very warmed up on the rail course, some that are a little bit newer. So it's going to be really exciting, and that's the great thing about Shakedown. Since it's best run counts, you got to call it. Anything can happen. Yeah. And we have a crew of riders here, like we talked about before, where we're going to see a very high level of riding here, and these guys can session, wait until they're ready, and then call their run and try to execute.
Yeah, a very, very unique, one-of-a-kind format. And the strategy here, as the format is continuously evolving, so is the strategy. Do you wait till the end to throw down all 4 runs? Do you set the stage early with what you want to do? There's a lot going on, a lot you can do to make it happen. Yesterday, last evening, we got 5 centimeters of fresh snow here at Mount Avila. That was a little bit slow going for some of the qualifiers earlier today. Some guys had trouble with speed. But now, here in the finals, under the lights at Mount Avila, we have got pretty much pristine conditions. It's fast. They can hold an edge. The jump is now straight fall line, unlike previous years where it used to have that hard left into it, which personally I feel really levels the playing field for everybody. And we're here. We're underway. Some guys are taking some warm-up runs, but dropping in early in the game with a judged run, Chris Collard. So he's looking at a cab 900.
That's one thing, Pete, like we said, all kinds of strategy happening here at the Shakedown. And here we see within the first 3 minutes, a judged run, Chris Collard calling a cab 900 off the jump. Here he comes, dropping in switch, going for the cab 900, putting it down, drifting a little bit, coming into the rail setup. Here he comes, 50-50 on the barrier. Oh, and going with some sort of, I'm going to call that like a barley grind, something that you don't see in snowboarding, over-tweaked front side nose blunt. Let's check out the replay here. There's the cab 9, letting go of the grab early, coming into the rail setup and just over-tweaking that thing over into fakie.
That was an interesting rail section, for sure. More of a hanging on for dear life kind of thing. But, 4 judged runs, a first for here at the Shakedown. So, Chris Collard, taking advantage of it early. maybe trying to work out the kinks, you know, get the butterflies out of his stomach, as it were.
Well, you know, and fatigue does play a role here.
Also
Pete.
true. It's been a long day.
So some of these riders just want to get it out of the way while there's you know, the most gas in the tank, and that may have been something we saw there from Chris Collard. Here comes Mikey Ciccarelli, as we saw some you know, some really great stuff from him in the semifinals. And like we were talking about before, is if he is in a position where he can put down something that he wants to put down on the jump. We saw the cab double cork 1260. We saw a gap backside 270 on the down gap down rail. So some really realized stuff there from him. Good style. He's tweaking all of his grabs. He looks very solid out there. Going to be exciting to watch Mikey Ciccarelli.
Definitely. And so what do we've got here in the rail section? Well, first off, you know, we drop in the riders. They got 50% of their score on the jump, 50% on the rail, as you mentioned before. And on the jump here, Maxence Parrot is about to demonstrate here. We've got a straight down the fall line jump, which is you know, a new tweak here at Shakedown compared to previous years. And it's about a 60-foot deck, 65, 70 feet to the sweet spot from the takeoff. And then down into the rail section here, 3 distinct sections. We've got the double with a gap in the middle, probably about 18 inches long. And then we've got the mailbox with the down rail in the middle. You know, ideal for transfers. We've seen some very interesting ones so far today. And then, of course, the double kink on rider's far left, viewer's right. And there's that transfer from Seb Toutant we were talking about a little bit earlier. You know, going from mailbox over onto that down tube.
Yeah, that's Sebastien Toutant rode in the Coors Light Rail Jam earlier today. So he's already gotten a number of hours in that rail garden. He's got a number of different combinations. So for his 4 judged runs, he's gonna have some options that probably other riders don't have at this moment.
Yeah, and one thing well, I certainly noticed in the semifinals is that the rail section is most certainly going to be the deciding factor here. The jump, you know, it's fairly limited for the most part because of the conditions and the size of the jump for what can be thrown down with the caliber of riders that are here. But then the unique and very innovative rail setup is going to allow for some very difficult combos, some exciting riding, and imagination and creativity is going to walk away with this one.
Yeah, you're right, Pete. I mean, things have been, at least in the semifinals, we saw a couple really bright spots on the jump, but for the most part, a lot of conservative riding, slightly monochromatic out there on that level, but with half of the score coming from the rail setup, we've seen some really interesting combos.
Very true.
This setup allows for all kinds of creativity. Not only in the features that we're looking at, you can jump from feature to feature. There's some transitions to be found. So we saw a lot of that earlier in the rail jam. So looking to see that being incorporated into the Shakedown finale here.
Oh, and riders just about dropping in on each other now, trying to get as much practice as they can. Oh, 14 years. The Shakedown, this year presented by Videotron Mobile, 14th edition. Dare I give away my age here? A little long in the tooth. Pete Anderson, 14th Shakedown. That's a good stretch. That's a good stretch.
Run there, Peter. And the Shakedown, you're right, in its 14th year, at least where I can come from, I can get a learner's permit to drive a car if it were a human in probably starting high school, angst-ridden teenage years right now. And here we got Craig Guelos calling a backside 1080 for his first of 4 judged runs. So here we are. I mean, the finals, they're young right now, and we've already seen this is the second judged run we've seen from a competitor. Craig Guelos, backside 1080, dropping in here on the Shakedown kicker. Here he is off the lip. Craig Guelos, backside 1080, just sitting it down a little bit. Let's see what he's got here. The crowd likes it. 50-50 to frontside board slide, gapping from the mailbox to the down tube. He seems happy, Pete. Let's check out the replay.
Yeah, definitely. As does the crowd. Quite the response from these guys. And that's one thing that I love about the Shakedown is, you know, the knowledgeable crowd, the educated crowd. You know, they really know what they're talking about, what they're cheering about.
Quebec is definitely an educated snowboard market, and you can tell as they come out here to the Shakedown in impressive numbers.
All right. Judged run number 1. We've got ourselves Casey Patenaude, if I said that correctly, doing the frontside 900, if I said that correctly.
You got the frontside 900 correct, yes.
Très bien.
Casey Patenaude, his first judge run of 4. So these riders having to show a pretty impressive, you know, trick arsenal off of this jump. Here he is, frontside 900, Casey Patenaude.
Whoa, whirly bird.
Putting it down, coming in switch into the rail setup. Cab 270 on the gap, on the down gap down. Peter, we've seen a complete run there from Casey. A stomp landing on the cab 900, on the frontside 900 rather. There it is on the replay. Boom. Not the cleanest we've seen, but still landing gear, no hands, and there it is. Gap, frontside 270. That was textbook.
Even with the little bobble on the jump, that's our first full pull of the final. No question.
Well, and we see, you're right, it is the first full pull. We see 21.7 come in, and already jumping into his second judge run, Chris Collard. Calling a frontside 1080.
You think Chris has got a hot date?
I don't know. It looks like he's trying to get out of here. And as he's going, I mean, this final isn't even 15 minutes old. Here he is, frontside 1080. Oh! Getting away with that one. Here he comes. Might have a run coming together. Frontside 50-50. Oh! Jumping, getting caught up on the mailbox. Chris Collard going for it. It looked like he was going for the 50-50 frontside 270 transfer, which, I mean, if he gets that, that's an impressive score. There's the 1080 right there, putting it down. And let's watch the replay on this rail. Going to jump and just hooking up. Oh, my goodness. Getting away with murder, she wrote right there. Real Angela Lansbury right there.
Yes, remixed with a bit of a Caribbean flavor. We got a cab 1260 from Michael Ciccarelli.
Mikey Ciccarelli, meaning straight business here. We saw him get the cab 1260 in the semifinal, put it down without any issue. He's going for it right here. This could be one of the most technical runs we see tonight. Here it comes. Oh, and just getting away with it. Not quite a clean landing. Backside 270, getting it right there. That's what he was going for in the semifinal, but bobbled on the rail. This time he bobbles on the jump. Let's see where the judges place that one.
A very strong rotation, just a little bit short, and has to get in the back seat and pet the dog to stand back up. And then the backside 270 kind of Taparelli for Ciccarelli on the rail. So we'll have to see where that puts him.
Yeah, Ciccarelli only getting away with a 3.7 to the judges, as they should be being ruthless with bobbles.
All right, our Norwegian visitor, Kim Rune Hansen, you're going to be dropping in here with a backside 1260. Pardon me, 1080? Backside 1080. My eyes aren't what they used to be 14 years ago when I first set foot in the broadcast booth of the Shakedown. brought to us by our good friends over at Videotron Mobile. One partner that's been involved since day one is Empire, and I got to give them a shout out.
Est-ce que les jeux sont prêts?
Okay, 2 minutes. Because right now it's the best score of the 4 judge runs will be chosen for the final rank.
So Kim Rune Hansen, his first judged run. Here it is, calling a 1080. Dropping in now, Norwegian Kim Rune Hansen, lighting it up here for his first run of the 2015 Shakedown final. Backside 1080. Oh, coming down a little heel heavy there, Pete. Not quite able to get the landing gear down.
Backside.
Maybe check the outline to see if it's going to add up all 4.
Run jugé Michel Grégoire. Backside 1080 double cork. Michel Grégoire. Backside 1080 double cork.
I'll also add to Martin that we mentioned it was the best run counts in the intro that we did as well.
Rail au centre. Yeah.
Okay. All right, next rider on course, dropping in here on the kicker. Snagging the landing there to the delight of the crowd. Coming into the rail section, 50-50 frontside board slide.
Oh.
As we see on the replay there, the backside 1080 double cork put down, and in the rail section, 50-50 gap to frontside board slide. Not quite getting to the end of the rail there. Kim Rune Hansen.
A little bit of trouble. Now, up next, Maxence Parrot. This is his first judged run, and he's coming in hot, straight out of the gates, looking at a cab 12.
We saw Mikey Ciccarelli try to put this together, wasn't able to put it down. Maxence got one in semifinals. Here he comes with a cab 1260 double cork.
Oh!
Putting it down and the crowd goes nuts. Let's see what he's got on the down rail here. Oh! Go on the backside, 180 fakie 5-0, 360 out. Wow.
Maxence Parrot setting the bar.
Yeah, and I mean, we're still early here. I know they get 4 judged runs. That's sending a message to the rest of the field. Here's the replay. Putting it down, no hands, little skiff, but no hand. And we see him come down here, super tech on the down tube. Boom, you see that press, the 360 out, just greases it around.
So you know, I'm gonna go on a limb right now and say you wanna bump up on Maxence Parrot. It's really gonna take a solid landing on that top section. The only thing that he's got against him right now is that little bobble, that little skittish when it came out. Maxence Parrot jumping into right now 2nd place, but only because he's only done 1 run. He's got the #1 top score.
That's right. That's right. We got our next rider on course here coming in. Frontside 270. Oh, and just getting spit off the end of that final down rail there. Wow, and Pete, things really heating up here at the Shakedown finale. As we're seeing riders go for it, we've seen, you know, the marquee trick here which was the cab 1260 double cork by Maxence Parrot. Mark Hoyt calling the frontside 1080 double cork, the lone American in the final. We have an all-Canadian final here. Mark Hoyt, the only rider representing the Stars and Stripes here.
Well, you know, yes, it's the only Stars and Stripes, but there's also a Norwegian with, we can't forget the Viking.
We cannot forget Kim Verone Hansen.
It's definitely a heavy Canadian field, you know, hometown advantage or home field advantage, as it were. But, yeah, Mark Hoyt dropping in.
Calling the front side 1080 double cork as we see him riding down the in-run here. Winding up Mark Hoyt from the USA. Oh! And just landing a little heel heavy there, Pete. Coming off the lip. Looking pretty good, maybe going just a little bit bigger than he thought he was going to, and landing a little heel heavy. Let's check it out on the replay here as you see him clamping on.
Oh, it's super blind on that last 180. It's
a tough one to spot. It's a tough one to spot, definitely.
Whoa! Seb Toutant. You know, not one of his judged runs, just kind of working out the kinks on the, well, I guess there's no kinks on that rail, but you know what I mean.
Well, and as we take a look at the field here, Sebastien Toutant, strategy, always playing a factor here at Shakedown. One of the only two riders who has not had a judged run yet.
Yeah, historically, and you know, he's got some serious success here at the Shakedown. And historically, he tends to wait late in the goings before he takes his judged runs. He likes to, you know, really know what he needs to do to make it work.
Well, Peter, waiters are going to wait.
Waiters are going to wait.
Waiters going to wait, buddy.
That's true. And the crowd starting to get, you know, a little more fired up. So right now, looking at the top three. Now, this is a little misleading, but I'm going to lay it out there anyway. As of right now, we've got our top three with Casey Patenaude in third, Maxence Parrot in second, and Christopher Collard in first. But, as we all know, there are 4 judged runs. Your top 2 are added up and then ranked. So Christopher Collard right now is sitting in first place, but technically he doesn't have a run over 14, which would drop him way down in and around the 6th place. So the highest score so far from Mr. Parrot, but the highest combined score from Christopher Collard. So we'll see how this works out. This is a judge run right here. Craig Gavelos. Oh.
Putting down the landing gear there on the jump. What happens with that run in the jib zone, though? You see him go with a lip slide on the down two, but I don't think that's going to be enough. But check out what's going on here. 1260 on the jump. Yeah. But here you see the switch lip slide, and it's just, Peter, I just don't think that's enough.
Yeah, no, an unfortunate bobble there at the end. I'm not sure if he was looking for a different trick or how that worked out or didn't work out for him. But yeah, we'll see what comes in. Up in the gates, we've got the radioactive neck gator from Mr. Ciccarelli. This is his second judge run, and he's calling a cab 1260.
Yeah, that's right, Pete. I mean, he called a cab 1260 last time. He didn't put the landing gear down, so since it was not completed, he gets to try it again. It's part of the format here at the Shakedown. If you call your trick and you land it, you can't do it again. You call your trick and you fall on it, you can. So here he is, Mikey Ciccarelli. Now he had this trick wired in semifinals. I have a feeling that this one is a go-to for Mikey. And so we'll see what he's got here on his second judged run, his second attempt at the cab 1260, trying to put down the landing gear because I think that he's got a pretty good line in the rail section. If he can put this thing down, we're going to see a really high-scoring run from Mikey Ciccarelli.
Kids these days, hey? Oh, my safety run, cab 12.
Cab 12. Here he comes, Canadian Mikey Ciccarelli, cab 1260 off the big air jump. Oh, and there it is, Pete. There it is, and he's coming in, gonna gap with the backside 270. Oh, and he's got it. Whoa, we got a run right here from Mikey Ciccarelli. Let's see how that stacks up. Next to the cab 1260, Maxence Parrot put down, and he got a 24.1. Wonder what the judges are gonna do with this one. Mikey Ciccarelli, as we see on the replay there's the backside 270 gapping out to that second of two down rails. My goodness.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. That was big.
Yeah, stumped. Back that cab 1260.
A very technical backside 270 on the gap rail. He didn't quite lock it in, but still.
Now the score is in. It's a 23.4, which as far as single runs go, is behind Maxence Parrot.
Interesting. No, Michael Ciccarelli's come in with a 29 on his second run.
There it is. Come in with a different score. Yeah, Mikey Ciccarelli with the single best run we've seen so far.
Yeah, so
who do we got dropping in next here, Pete?
Okay, up top we've got Michael Gregoire, and we're looking at a frontside 1080.
Michael Gregoire, he's got one judged run in the bag right now. It's an 18.4. It looks like it's going to be a throwaway at this point. He's going to need something higher with, like we talked about, the best run of the day so far. Mikey Ciccarelli with the 29, followed by Maxence Parrot, the 24.1. It's still early. Calling the front side 1080, Michel Gregoire.
Yeah, and sorry, just before Michel drops in here, we had a bit of a glitch in the matrix, and we made a incorrect call on Ciccarelli's score. He's got the highest score of the day so far, semis and finals combined, with a 29.0. Michael Ciccarelli. So really laying down the gauntlet, dropping in. We got
Michel Gregoire going for the front side 1080. Second run of 4. Here he is.
Oh!
Putting that one down, coming into the rail setup. Frontside 50-50. Going to the frontside lip slide to fakie. Interesting. Let's. It's going to be interesting to see this replay here, Pete. See how he lands this jump. Oh, we don't get a replay. We're going right back into the action.
Oh, man. I think that was...
Here's the replay right here. Yeah, he put that down pretty solid. Michel Gregoire, and there it is. 50-50, front lip to fakie. Wonder what the judges are going to score that as.
All right. Casey Patenaude looking at the front side 1080. This is his second judged run, and he has a rather formidable 22.2 on his first run. You know, it's up there with some of the top scores.
Yeah, as far as the scores go thus far in the finals, I think that he's sitting in a pretty good spot, and if he can add to that, if he can set down the front side 10 here and a good rail section, could be looking at something special here. Here he is, Casey Patenaude, frontside 1080. Oh, and there it is. The gear is down, Pete. Coming in the rail setup. Gap, frontside 270. There you go. He's hyped. Casey Patenaude, super happy with that run. Look at him in the finishing corral, waiting for his score. He's psyched.
This is one of my favorite parts about this event. I look forward to the Shakedown year after year. It finishes off the season with the bang, and you just see these guys feeding off each other. one guy after the next, stomp, 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 pushing the limits. You see it right here.
Here it is, Pete. First judge run of 4 from Sebastien Toutant. Now, Sebastien calling the cab 1260. Needs no introduction here at the Shakedown. The most decorated...
You just gave him an introduction.
The most decorated rider in the history of the event. Sebastien Toutant looking to start things off with a bang.
Yeah, no stranger to making it happen under the lights here at Shakedown.
And you hear the crowd going nuts for Seb Toots, local boy. Got his first break here at the Shakedown at 14 years of age. Here we go, Sebastien Toutant calling the cab 1260 double cork. Off the lip. Oh, putting it down. So solid, coming into the rail zone. Frontside 50-50 to front board. Same way, 270
you gotta
out.
be kidding me.
Out. There he is. He's psyched. The crowd is all fired up. Pete, where does that land you if you're one of the judges? Like, check out this replay. Boom, locking in the grab on the nose, stomping right there, and you see him rip into the rail setup, frontside 50-50, gapping onto the down tube with a front board, same way 270 out, like clockwork there. Textbook.
And if you take a look at his rail section, it looked like he had his hands in his pockets looking for his car keys. Or perhaps making room for all that prize money.
Perhaps making room, clearing some real estate in those pockets for all that change.
Seb Toutant posting the biggest score of the day, and then subsequently here in the evening, 31.6. That's his first judged run. He's got 3 more kicks at the can to try to topple Casey from top spot.
Here's Marc-André Tremblay dropping in for his first judged run. Putting the landing gear down there. No! No, sitting it down in between the jump and the rail. The crowd loves it anyways. He's got his hands up saying, I don't know what happened.
I gotta like that attitude though. Smiling, hey, what are you gonna do? If you check it out here, I know exactly what happened. Watch how massive he goes.
Yeah, going
way
so
above
huge.
that Empire arc, and then just like he had nothing left in his legs. He had used up all his power bar, as it were, his reserves.
Next judge run here from American Mark Hoyt, calling a frontside 1080. The lone American in the top 10 here.
You ready, buddy?
Calling a frontside 1080. Second of 2 judged runs. Fell on his first one.
Quite the hair farmer, noticing the beard and the locks there. A ginger, so you can't really trust him, but I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Mark Hoyt, Ginger Pride, coming off the lip here. 1, 2, putting it down right there. The frontside 1080 double cork. Finishing it off. Backside 180, switch 50-50, revert off the end. Wow, can't wait to see the replay on this one, Pete. Super, super solid. He's psyched. Mark Hoyt.
Mark, where's Mark from? I like how I make you do all the work.
From Breckenridge, Colorado.
Oh, Breck, he's one of those.
And we see him going outside the regular indie grab, which you usually see on a frontside double cork 1080. Really mixing it up there.
All right, the other white meat, the other foreigner here from Norway. This is Kim Rune Hansen, and he's calling the backside 1260 here.
Yeah, Kim not able to put down his first hit. He's going to give her another go here. It's his second of 4th judged runs, 2 runs combined count. Backside 1260, Kim Rune Hansen. Oh, and going yard off of that thing. Wow, landing super far down and just not able to take the impact there. So we'll check it on the replay. Here he is going huge and landing super far down on that landing and just not able to link it together there.
Yeah, I think he got a little shooken up on that, but he seems to be making his way to head back up for his next couple runs. Oh! Brett, once again, the shakedown. We've shifted gears a little bit. We've moved over a couple hills, but we're just down the street at Mount Avila, pretty close to Saint-Sauveur. But the energy has certainly come with us. The level of riding is certainly being upped. Up next, Chris Collard. He's calling a cab 1260. So this is his 3rd judged run of the evening.
Yeah, he's playing with the big boys now. So cab 1260, we've seen one from Mikey Ciccarelli. We've seen one from Sebastien Toutant. Seen one from Maxence Parrot.
It's like you're taking notes or something.
Whoa!
Settle down.
Wow. Chris Collard going for it right there with the cab 1260. Not able to get away with that one, but putting on a show. He's all smiles. Let's check it out in the replay. And just chucking.
You just kind of reach a point where, all right, I must get this around. It's a make or break situation.
Here's another practice run here from Maxence Parrot, coming in switch.
Oh!
Whoa! Pete,
double
cab 14 double cork. My goodness. Now only in practice, granted, the first 1440 we've seen here at Shakedown 2015.
And with authority.
I don't think he has any other way to land.
Watch this. After you're showing it to us again. Holding that grab.
And boom. Well, if I may,
I believe the term is in your face.
In your face. I mean, if I'm another Shakedown competitor, that's going to give me nightmares. Straight up.
Okay, so here is where we are sitting. We have 7 riders that have taken 2 runs and actually have the ability to be ranked when you get right down to it. And in 3rd place right now, we have Michael Gregoire, 2nd Craig Guelos, and in 1st, Casey Patenaude. Seb Toutant on course. He's posted the highest score of the day, and then obviously the evening.
Whoa! The first triple cork we've seen.
And
although only a practice, not a judged run. Oh! There it is, Pete. The triple cork has come out. The gloves are off.
The gloves are certainly off.
You saw it with Maxence Parrot, starting with the cab 14 double cork. Sebastien Toutant answering with the backside triple cork. Things are going to get very, very interesting here.
The trips.
As we have a judged run getting called out here in the start gates now, this time from Michael Gregoire, throwing down a cab 900. When you see a trick like this called, now we're seeing triple corks. Now we're seeing 1440s. We're seeing double cork 1260s. We're seeing all kinds of stuff. When you see a 900 thrown down, being called, it makes me more curious about what he's going to do in the rails, to be quite honest.
Yes. It's interesting. The strategies you can throw down here, you know,
Well, we're going to see what's in store here. Michel Gregoire dropping a cab 9 here in his 3rd judged run. But not quite able to put the landing gear down, so that's going to be an easy throwaway for him, and he's going to turn his focus now into his 4th and final run.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate run. That was reminiscent of one of my first dates. You know, a little bit awkward, couldn't quite make it happen, and maybe not quite what I had anticipated.
Just awkward for everybody.
Not to mention the spectators that had to...
The spectators that had to watch.
Oh, Shakedown, presented by Videotron Mobile, the 14th edition. Most certainly not letting us down. The action has been ridiculous. I'm quite enjoying this new format. 4 judged runs, top 2 being added up together. So it adds for a little bit of leniency in terms of having more opportunities to throw down your judged runs. But at the same time, you're going to have to step it up with a little bit of consistency, because it used to be 1 solid run could get you top spot. Now you need to add up 2. So your top 2 runs of 4.
Oh yeah, that's right, Peter. And worthy of mention is the fact that the Shakedown is devoid of any major sanctioning body. They can do whatever they want. And that's what's great about this contest.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. They are not devoid of our sanctioning bodies.
But really a great, true, independent contest that plays by no other rules than their own.
Very true. And their own are you know, they emulate what the riders want. They listen to the riders. They pay attention to the riders. They evolve and progress this competition with what the riders want. And there we have it right now, our current top 3, well, our current top 10, but let's just speak to the top 3. We have Michel Gregoire in 3rd, Craig Guelus in 2nd, and Casey Patenaude in 1st. So as of right now, Seb Toutant still holding top spot for a single run of the evening. And oddly enough, his 1 single run still puts him at 5th place so far. And 7 people have done 2 runs. Maxence Parrot, 24.1, not shabby at all. So, yeah, things getting interesting. Things getting interesting. We are, give or take, halfway through our final here at the Shakedown, presented by Videotron Mobile. I'm getting a sense of a bit of a lull in the judged runs. I think some guys are maybe taking some inventory, figuring out what they want to do. 45 minutes left, taking a look at maybe some of the tricks that have been thrown down, what they have to do to set themselves apart. So once again, the stratagem at the Shakedown playing a huge part.
It's always one of the most exciting parts as to what happens here. These riders, they see the environment of what's happening. They're seeing the level of riding that they're up against. They can reevaluate their entire strategy, practice some tricks, call a judged run, and drop her in. You know what I mean? And I love how guys like Sebastien Toutant, he has only taken 1 run. He's got the highest score of any single run with his 1 run. And he's watching the environment, trying some tricks, and getting things ready, dropping in when he's calculated and he's ready. He's taking risks, no doubt, with the tricks he's trying, but very calculated. So we have another judged run coming up here. Who do we got?
Chris Collard is about to drop in. He's looking at a cab 10.
Now Chris Collard, he's the first one to exhaust all 4 of his runs. He's currently in 7th place. Doesn't really have much to lose at this point, calling the cab 1080. Here he comes, Chris Collard with his final run. And just barely holding on to that one, but holding on to it nonetheless. There we go, the switch 50-50 to switch front lip.
A little bit on the sloppy side of the kitchen, but he managed to pull it out of the fire as I mix metaphors.
Well, you know, he's gotten 4 judged runs here. He's made it out. He's made it to the other side at Shakedown 2015. Now he's going to sit down and watch the event, and it's going to be a real treat.
Oh, getting a good look at the rail complex there. That we have the double down with a solid 18 to 24-inch gap between those two rails. So a bit of a man-eater, that gap. It's taken out a few riders today. So getting a good look at Maxence Parrot and his pre-run ritual. He's going to be dropping in on his second judged run of 4.
When we saw him land this, Pete, calling the cab 1440 double cork.
Yeah, he stomped this as a practice run a little bit earlier. So and stomp being an understatement.
That thing was handled, definitely. So Maxence Parrot calling the most technical trick that's been called out so far.
Yes, definitely. The crowd's starting to get fired up. They're behind him. Maxence Parrot, cab 1440, dropping in. So he's gonna approach the jump switch.
Well, here he is, Maxence Parrot. Cab 1440 double cork, there it is! The crowd loves it. Coming in switch cab 270.
Come on!
Boom! Gapping on the kink rail. Picture perfect right there. Chalk it up for Maxence Parrot. This is gonna be a huge, huge score.
Massive, and we have never seen a 1440 at the Shakedown in a judged run.
Well, you can't say that anymore, Peter. Maxence Parrot, look at how smooth he is both on the jump and in the rail. Wow, a picture perfect cab double cork 1440 into a cab 270, gapping out onto the final down, waiting for his score. And
there you have it. Boom! Moving up in the top spot with a 56.9, and that single run, number 2, 32.8, just edging out Sebastien Toutant's previous top run of the day with a 31.6.
Heavy, heavy things happening here at the 2015 Shakedown, and we're just getting started, Peter.
Really? I think we're over halfway.
Kim Rune Hansen, double cork, 1260 coming in. Wow. My goodness. Here's the replay. Backside, 1260. And not quite able to lock in there on the gap to backside 270. Going to be interesting to see what that does to his score with such a strong jump.
Yeah, the Norwegian. So up top, we've got Sebastien Toutant. So previously holding the score for the highest of the day. He is calling a backside 1080. Now,
interesting, Pete, because we saw him attempt a triple cork in practice for his previous hit. So maybe he's going for a safety on the jump. This backside 1080 double cork, we can very easily assume a safety trick for Sebastien Toutant. And again, this makes me very excited about what he's got in store for us on the rail.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, and we've talked about pretty much all day, he is, you know, even not being that old at the end of the day, you can't really call him a veteran, but he is most certainly a veteran of the Shakedown and quite the strategist. So,
only 22 years of age, you know, and a veteran of Shakedown. So let's see what he's got here. Sebastien Toutant dropping in, calling the backside 1080 double cork. Here he is, off the lip. Boom! Landing so deep. Here he comes into the rail setup. Frontside board, gapping to frontside board. Just getting away with that one, Pete. But a very overall strong run. It'll be interesting to see what the judges think here.
Case in point, when you talk about the strategy, now look at this, holding it all the way around, stomping the 10, and then he comes in a very difficult technical trick, mailbox, hopping over, frontside board on both. But now he has two extremely strong runs in the bank. 2 judged runs remaining. He is in the perfect position to now push the envelope. I've used the term a couple times, but he's in a position now where he can really extend himself and try perhaps some tricks that he's not 100% confident in.
We got Michel Gregoire on course here calling the cab 900. There it is. Put down coming into the rail setup. Michel Gregoire with a judged run here. Oh, going 50-50 gap front board. Same way, 270 out. Not quite putting it down with the gusto of Sebastien Toutant, who did that same rail combo earlier. Let's check the replay here. Michel Gregoire, there's the cab 900. Thank you very much, I'll take that. And into the rails. 50-50, gapping over to frontside board slide. Just squeaking the same way, 270 around.
Things are getting very interesting here, Brett.
And here comes Mikey Ciccarelli as we have seen some reshuffling atop of the leaderboard, most notably with Sebastien Toutant moving to the very top of it. Mikey Ciccarelli currently sitting in the middle of the pack in 6th place. He's got a throwaway run with a 7.5 in his first run of 2, but his second run with a 29. Here he's called the backside 1080. Let's see what he's got. Mikey Ciccarelli. There it is. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Coming into the rail. Backside 270.
Not the most technical of rail tricks, but certainly making it happen. And with a 29 on his second run, this could really start to add up. So,
and you see that backside 1080 there in the replay, grabbing Indy. Now, normally we see riders grab mute with that. That's kind of the norm. Here he's mixing it up with an Indy grab, and then, yeah, you see the nice, solid backside 270 gap out on that double down.
Some incredible riding coming out of these guys. We're sitting at about 30 minutes remaining. So we have 4 riders that have completed 3 runs, and pretty much the rest have done at least 2. So currently Seb Toutant in first, Maxence Parrot in second, and Michael Ciccarelli in third. And Maxence Parrot sitting on the top score of the evening, sorry, the top score of the day with a 32.8. So very, very interesting final 30 minutes shaping up here.
That's right. Your current 5th place rider, Craig Guelos, calling a run, dropping in here. Just putting down the landing gear and no skidding out at the bottom of the landing. Peter, we've been seeing our riders doing that every so often here with the impact of that jump just giving way on the riders' legs as they're not able to ride out their tricks. Again, Shakedown with the semifinal. It's a marathon, not a sprint here, Pete. And as we see, fatigue definitely playing a factor here.
Yeah, and historically, you know, Shakedown has really come down to the final few runs. It's come down to that strategy, and then, like you said, having the endurance and really finishing up the day, being calculated and, you know, as I mentioned, strategic. And speaking of historically, last year we had a Tinder discussion while we were in here, and just wondering if you've had any advancements in your Tinder game.
If you're asking if we can do it again, we can do it again, Peter.
I don't know if we need to do it again. I'm just wondering if your Tinder game has evolved as much as these riders have.
I have zero Tinder game. Tinder game is not a thing currently.
Oh, Brett. I'm sitting on pins and needles waiting on these last few runs. All right, sitting up top, Mark Hoyt. Judged run backside 1080. Double cork. Mark Hoyt has 2 runs in the books. This is his 3rd judged run. So just cracking 30 minutes remaining. Mark Hoyt. Oh. So getting it around, but the landing gear just not holding up. Butt checking a little bit. Mr. Hoyt probably going to take a 0 on that run after skipping the rail section. So the 24.7 on his 2nd run, definitely nothing to laugh at, but he's going to need to make it count on his 4th run of 4 here in the finals of the Shakedown, presented by Videotron Mobile. So as it stands right now, of all of our riders that have at least 2 runs or more, in 3rd place, Mr. Ciccarelli. In 2nd place, Maxence Parrot. And still, the top of the leaderboard, Seb Toutant. Max Parrot. So Max has already stomped to 14. With the highest score of the day so far, he received a 32.8. And so his first run of 24.1, he can definitely improve upon, probably with not a ton of effort when you get right down to it. So interesting to see how these guys are going to work out their last couple runs here coming into the final 30 minutes. So up next, judged run. All right, Marc-André Tremblay. He's looking at a cab 12. So coming in switch. This is a full 3.5 rotations. Oh, going huge, getting it all the way around, but just unable to hang on into the rail section. And yeah, butt check. Going to be a bit of a throwaway. Woo! A lot of things going on. Seb Toutant still sitting atop the pile. So once again, I'm going to have to forecast. The Shakedown will come down to the final few moments when riders see what they're stacked up against, what they need to do to win, and then trying to make it happen. So 14 doubles going down, 12s going down, some very exciting snowboarding, and yeah, this rail section, this very, very unique and innovative, as always, rail section, the second half of the scoring here at the Shakedown will be the deciding factor. Up top, Casey Patenaude, we can see him doing some visualization exercises up there. He's got a frontside 9 called. He's going to try to cork it twice. So 2 times upside down 2.5 times around. Not so much a cork as it is a double back 180, but still almost making it happen. 14 years. This is the 14th edition of the Shakedown, presented by Videotron Mobile. Earlier today, we had the Coors Light Rail Jam. We gave away some loot. So there was best trick winner.
Yeah, we had a best trick winner here, Pete, and also an overall champion.
All right, I'm gonna dig back into that in a second. We've got ourselves a judged run called by the Norwegian Kim Rune Hansen, and he's looking at a backside 1080.
Yeah, this is going to be the closeout for Kim Rune Hansen. He's sitting with an 18.5 overall. He's fallen twice, and this is going to end his day. Backside 1080, Kim Rune Hansen from Norway.
Massive!
And what a way to go out.
Saving the best for last.
And a pretty slick frontside board slide there, too. Look at that, going absolutely huge. Let's check the replay here. Look at that pop. Boom, boom, backside 1080, double cork, and a, quick and easy frontside board slide on the down tube to finish things up. Now you're right, Pete, earlier today we had the Coors Light Rail Jam. We had 2 prizes. One for best trick, one for best overall rider. Best trick, $2,000 went to Craig Guelos, who we see atop of the course right now, and also best overall rider, Sebastien Toutant.
Yeah, we'll see if that skill set, that unique rail skill set, will be able to set these two guys apart. Craig Guelos about to drop in. So right now sitting in 5th place. He's been able to get 2 runs in, averaging out at about 22. He's got 44.5 combined. Now he's obviously got the rail skills, to make it happen. So interesting to see what he calls here. So looks like a cab 900. So not the most intense spin we've seen this evening, but we do know that he can throw down on the rails where he could possibly make it up.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he does the best trick from the Coors Light Rail Jam that he did earlier today, which is a backside 360, gapping over the mailbox, we could be in for a real treat here. First off, he's got to get this cab 9 that he's called. There it is, putting it down, coming into the jump. And he's going for it. There it is. Wow. Giving a throwback to the Coors Light Rail Jam earlier today. He did get that trick there. That was the gap to backside 270 over the mailbox onto the down bar. Here's the replay. Cab 900. Very clean there. And there it is, over the mailbox, onto the down tube, backside 270. That's a big ticket trick right there, Pete.
He's definitely got, the rails on lockdown, as it were. But he just needs a little bit more work on the jump. Like the 9, not the biggest jump we've seen in terms of rotation, and then also, barely getting over the knuckle when you get right down to it. So
that's going to end Craig Guelos' day, but he leaves $2,000 richer for his efforts in the Coors Light Rail Jam earlier today, so I'm sure he's leaving happy.
Yeah, not to mention at bare minimum sitting in and around 5th place, which is nothing to laugh at.
Very respectable finish here at the Shakedown, considering the field of riders we have here. Now, Pete, we have a field of 10 riders. 4 of them are done riding. Only halfway through their runs. There's Maxence Parrot calling the backside 1440 triple cork. This is the first called triple cork we've seen right here today at the Shakedown. we're going to see the level go through the roof, and this is going to open up a can of worms in the saga that has become Maxence Parrot versus Sebastien Toutant. Here he is, calling the backside 1440 triple cork, Maxence Parrot. Oh! And there it is!
Oh, and the gap. Frontside lip slide like butter.
He's fired up now, Maxence Parrot. There it is. He went there.
Oh.
Backside 1440 triple cork.
A straight call out to Seb Toutant. That right there, raising the bar of the shakedown. Stomped. It does not. It does not come any cleaner than that.
Yeah, it's on now. It's on now. It was on before, but it's on now.
Brett, $40,000 up for grabs total. First place, walking away with half of that. $20,000 on the line. Maxence Parrot dropping the triple 1440. He's going to jump up into first place. He has to. There it is. Definitely in first place. I think we might be waiting on... No, that could be it. 27.6. I wonder. Waiting for our scoring tallies to kind of catch up. Up top.
Wow, I should not be following.
Maxence Parrot, and I think what happened there, he's got a 27.6 on his second hit. Pardon me, on his third run. But I think it was the rail. You know, once again, that rail being the real, you know, deciding factor here at Shakedown, as always.
Well, Pete, I mean, the scoring breakdown, 50% of your score comes from the jump. 50% of your score comes from the rail. Now, we saw the strongest jump trick of the day, arguably, from him right there, but you know, not close on the rail. In either regard, we got Mark Hoyt dropping in.
Oh.
Yeah, not able to set that down right there. And yeah, we do still, however, see Maxence Parrot moving to the top of the leaderboard, unseating Sebastien Toutant, only just over a point ahead of him.
Yeah, 1.1 points ahead. Seb having 2 runs remaining. Maxence only having 1.
And let's not forget about Mikey Ciccarelli sitting in third place. He's got a 29. He's posted that. So if he posts something over 30, he's laughing as well because he's got a very strong score there. So still very much anything possible within the top 3.
Oh, most certainly. And even Casey in fourth place, you know, he's got a 26.2 as his highest run. So anything goes and anything can happen, as we've seen so far tonight. We've got about just under 20 minutes remaining.
For the judge run, here's Marc-Andre Tremblay. Whoa. Getting wild there.
That was one of the bigger hits of the evening, or of the day.
Yeah, we're seeing, you know, as we get further into the night, Pete, it is starting to speed up even more out there. And we're seeing that, giving the riders a little bit more critical air to be able to pull the tricks that they want to. So as it goes, we are in the final chapter here of the 2015 Shakedown. Many riders have exhausted their 4 runs. Only 5 riders remain with runs still to go. Among them, Mikey Ciccarelli, Sebastien Toutant, and our leader, Maxence Parrot. A lot of excitement still to come. The big stories of the evening. 2 hits from Maxence Parrot. the cab 1440 double cork and the backside 1440 triple cork. So seeing some next level moves coming to fruition, and the excitement continues as these riders still have hits to come.
Run, jugé Casey Patenaude, même truc, frontside 9, double cork, rail de droite.
Suiting up here for his final of 4 judged runs. Currently sitting in 4th place, trying to crack the podium. Casey Patenaude, he's called a frontside 900. Again, whatever happens here, this will be his final hit of Shakedown 2015. Currently in 4th place, Casey Patenaude. Oh, and just putting that down, dragging a hand, coming in switch. Cab 270, strong hit there on the rails. What will that hand drag on the frontside 900 cost him? We'll have to wait and see. Trying to crack the top 3, Casey Patenaude with the uncommon frontside 900 double cork. Let's check it out in the replay here. There's 1, there's 2, and just dragging that hand, picking up change on the landing there, and there's the cab 270 to fakie. Now I gotta think that jump is gonna hold Casey back, not quite spinning so much, and putting the hand down. Another judge run coming up here, Sebastien Toutant. He's calling it out. Maxence Parrot has done the backside 1440 triple cork. Seb Toutant is answering with a backside 1440 triple cork of his own. This is his 3rd of 4 judge runs. Currently in 2nd place, Sebastien Toutant off the lip. Oh, and landing so deep in that landing, but not quite enough horsepower to get that around. That's going to be a throwaway for Sebastien Toutant, currently sitting in 2nd place. I wonder where he goes from there, under rotating the backside 1440 triple cork, as you see 1, 2, holding on, but just not enough juice off the lip. The first fall we've seen from Sebastien Toutant in the finals of the 2015 Shakedown. He will have only 1 jump remaining. Wow.
Maxence Parrot throwing down the gauntlet. Sebastien Toutant not able to keep or to answer. But 1 run remaining for both.
Oh, so we're seeing things get up here. Here's Mikey Ciccarelli. Okay, so Mikey's sitting currently in 3rd place. And make no mistake, he's in complete and total striking distance of the top of the podium. He's called out a cab 1440. Let's see what he's got here. Mikey Ciccarelli, his final bid. Oh, and he puts it down but can't quite ride it out. That's going to end Shakedown 2015 for Mikey Ciccarelli. He will do no better than 3rd place.
But still, not a bad place to be. He's holding good company. I mean, being able to measure up to the likes of Toutant, Parrot, 2 international, international class riders, world-class riders.
And you know what? Ciccarelli is right on the cusp. He's right on the cusp of breaking out and being an internationally recognized rider at the level of Toutant or a Parrot. Trying to make his bid here, unsuccessful, but right now on the podium, he will finish in 3rd place as only 3 runs remain.
Oh, Maxence Parrot opting to put down his 4th and final run before Toutant. He's called the backside 12 double.
All right. Here he is, upping the level here. Backside 1260 double cork, called out by Maxence Parrot, our current leader. Here he is, off the lip. Oh! Wow!
Okay, now, wait for the rail section. This is really going to be the deciding factor moving forward. Getting a little squirrely, somehow managing to hang on.
With the switch backside lip on the down tube. Now, a little bit of a bobble there, not quite perfect. However, he did lock in, get to the end. Here he is off the jump. 1, 2, and the extra 180, folks. That's a backside 1260. 3.5 rotations, and there it is. A little hesitation there, but getting away with it.
Lip.
Wow, so I think that'll be a throwaway. I think he's going to fall back on runs 2 and 3, but what a showing from Maxence Parrot here, the 2015 Shakedown, going for the win, currently in first place with only one rider to unseat him.
Oh, Brett, we got to set the table here for dinner. This is going to be exciting. The 14th edition of the Shakedown. I first saw Seb Toutant at 14 years old compete here at the Shakedown. Now, they've modified some of the rules. They've changed the location, but it still comes down to this. One final run. Seb Toutant, this has been his strategy numerous times. Numerous times it has worked out very well for him. He waits for that last run. As of right now, Maxence Parrot sitting on a 60.40 in top spot. Seb Toutant has 59.3. So, to take the win here at the Shakedown, Seb Toutant will have to post a 28.9 or better. We know he can do it because he's done a 31.6 this evening. Albeit this edition of the Shakedown looks like it might be out of reach. It's not over.
It's not over by a long shot here, Pete. And as we're saying, this is not the last time. This is not the first time. This is not the first time we've seen Sebastien Toutant drop last at a Shakedown.
And dare I say, probably not going to be the last.
No, no.
This is his MO. Modus operandi.
This is how Sebastien Toutant does business at the Shakedown. He watches everything unfold, gets himself into an advantageous position.
Very patient, very calculated.
And it's interesting that he's in second place. I mean, we've been saying it all day. We knew that Maxence Parrot and Seb Toutant were going to duke it out. We knew it.
In some way, shape, or form, it was bound to happen. These two heavyweights here at the Shakedown.
And these guys, the Shakedown isn't the only place they do it. This happens at the X Games. This happens at the Olympics. These guys go 1-2, and they're back and forth at every major contest in the world. The Shakedown is no exception.
This is not the beginning of a rivalry. This is a continuing of said rivalry. And there you see it. Seb Toutant. He is focused on one thing and one thing only tonight. It starts with a 2 and is followed by 4 zeros. And may or may not be depositable.
Yeah, absolutely. It may fit in your pocket.
$20,000 going to top spot here at the Shakedown. Backside 1440 triple cork. Seb Toutant, the final minutes of the 14th edition of the Shakedown, presented by Videotron Mobile. Here it is.
It all comes down to this, Pete. He fell on it on his first attempt. He's going for it on his final hit of the night. Here he is, Sebastien Toutant.
No!
And he falls, he goes down.
And that's going to be it. 2015 crowning a brand new and first ever Shakedown champion, Maxence Parrot, 60.40.
There it is, to the tune of $20,000 for first place, Pete. Maxence Parrot, the 2015 Shakedown champion.